Look everyone, Pandora's still a thing, and this time the characters are gonna go swimming! Woohoo! There, that's the whole trailer. I just saved you 97 boring, lifeless, pointless seconds. And you really have to hand it to James Cameron here. He took a movie that inexplicably became the biggest movie of all time, despite the biggest selling point it had being that it was in 3D and it looked pretty, despite most people having already seen it a couple of times before when they saw Dances with Wolves, Fern Gully, and a bunch of other things, convinced the studio to sign off on not one, but 4 sequels, with production on all of them to be finished before the first one even hit theaters, and all of that to follow up on an original film that these days doesn't conjure up many feelings stronger than... meh. And after he's been working on these things for 10 plus years, we now have our initial peak. And what is there to say about it, really? You spent over a decade making this thing, you brought in 3 or 4 other writers to help flesh the story out, probably a good idea since about 95% of the first one was lifted from other stuff, and when you're finally ready to give us our first look, you deliver the prototypical cookie-cutter "this movie exists" teaser. Hats off to you. Am I being too hard on this movie? I don't think so. The first one didn't have much to offer beyond the visuals and the technical stuff, and sure, that was impressive as hell, but it was, 13 years ago? 3D is a gimmick that's been beaten to death many times over by now. You can't expect that to work the same way a second time, can you? I assumed that since the most original idea the first movie had was the Na'vi hair that can interface with nature, maybe you'd want to use your first impression trailer to show the audience how your storytelling has gotten more sophisticated, or how you're bringing some fresh and exciting concepts to the table and taking this universe in a bold new direction. Instead, it's, check it out! All the pretty stuff you enjoyed looking at in the first movie is back, and the floating mountains are back, and those flying banshee things are back, and the humans are back. They're gonna be doing something to threaten nature again, and they're using the Na'vi avatars again. And look, swimming! Characters are swimming, oh my god! Really? That was the most interesting stuff you could come up with? Even the title feels uninspired. The Way of Water? What the does that mean? And I don't think you can put this on the executives. I mean, who the hell is gonna take a meeting with James Cameron and tell him, you can't do this? Or, that isn't testing well with the focus groups? Or, excuse me, Mr. Cameron, sir, I'm sorry to disturb you while you're busy making the greatest 4 movies in the history of entertainment, but, the studio has a few notes. I don't know, man. It kinda seems like Cameron thought people would just fall in love with this because the first movie was huge. And beats me how much of a bubble he's been in for the last 10 years or so. But after the initial hype died down, a lot of people started to realize that Avatar wasn't really saying much of anything that hadn't been said before in a lot of other movies. So if you're not bringing anything new to the table with this one, then what are we doing here? Most of this stuff could have been in the first movie. Looks like there might be some scenes back on Earth, or maybe the humans have increased their presence on Pandora, building some kind of factory there, or ramping up their mining operation. Is this still gonna be about the fucking unobtainium? Good lord. See, this is the closest the trailer gets to something new. A human kid who went native, possibly, but doesn't he have an avatar body of his own? And why would a kid even be there? I hope the humans wouldn't bring a kid to a place like this. I think I read something about this. Like he was gonna be born on Pandora, so they couldn't take him to Earth because of the different gravity or something. So he's just stuck there, living his whole life on this alien planet where he'll die if he even breathes the air. God, that poor kid. That could be an interesting character, I guess, if they actually use the story for what it's worth and go into how psychologically up the kid would be, raised by aliens, and the only people from his own race that he's ever known are trying to kill him or whatever. That kid would have all sorts of issues. But after the first movie, I'm not sure I trust Cameron to explore that the right way. And there's a lot of stuff with water. So much going on with water. The Na'vi flying over the water, swimming in the water, riding Pandoran fish in the water, playing with Pandoran whales in the water, someplace getting flooded by water, going into battle where they rise up out of the water. What is so fascinating about the fucking water? Sure, it looks beautiful, but So did the first movie. You designed a whole new alien ecosystem down there. Cool, congratulations. That must have been a lot of work. But you did that in the first movie. I'm sure the visuals are gonna be mind-blowing, but the visuals were never the issue. We expect those to be great. The issue was coming up with a better story, and I don't see one yet. Yeah, it's only a teaser, but all I'm seeing here is more of what I saw last time. Only now it's like, I've seen this all before, so what else you got? Whoa. I must have dozed off. Weird dreams, man. Weird dreams. Wait, wasn't I supposed to watch something tonight? Yeah, I think I was gonna watch Firestarter, maybe? Wasn't I? I guess not. Well, whatever I was dreaming about must have been better than that. Yeah.